Um, I want you to be thinking this is the time to be connecting with people. Guys, it is so interesting to me that doesn't matter what's happening in the world. And we're going to talk a little bit about, everything that's going on. Worried about inflation, worried about recessions, worried about, things that are out of our control. We're in the health and wellness space. We last week put a lot of work, of killer work into skincare, and I can't wait to get you guys over. We're editing videos. We're going to start posting calendars. We're going to move into January with incredible deals on packs. We're really going to be pushing packs. That's going to lead into XND 63, getting people on packs, getting people on auto replenish so they don't have to worry about it. The product's going to be there. Crystal, I need to get with you on getting all those people that are in your website, how many of them we could move over and migrate into the XND 63 over the next 2 weeks. The big push is going to be on. We're going to have our State of the Union for XND for January is going to be on the 9th, which is really the first Monday, because that at the second is New Year's Day and everyone's going to be watching football anyway. So we're going to have that on the 9th. We're going to have so much momentum to be moving forward on. It's going to be phenomenal. What I want to talk to you guys about is, oh, sweet. That's awesome. Sweet, Crystal. And let's keep chatting. So what I want to be talking to you about is scorecards. And here's how most people and where I come from in the world, this was like the biggest challenge for people in real estate. It's the biggest challenge I see with our distributors that we currently have selling XND products. And this is no knock on anybody. This is just human nature. Crystal, you're one of the few people that I see utilizing a scoreboard, tracking her numbers, paying attention to her activities, and are they paying off? Steve and I are working on getting his team turbocharged and having a standard that they got to log in their numbers each week if they want to participate on calls, if they want to grow the team. Something really funny happens. I used to see the transformation with realtors. I would always talk to realtors, and hey, they got into real estate because they wanted to have freedom of lifestyle. Hey, they wanted to set their own hours. They wanted to build this around their food blog that they were really passionate about. They wanted to realize this with their coffee club. They wanted to do all these fun things with this. And those people never really got anywhere. They were like, well, things are going pretty well. I had a lot of great conversations. I talked to a lot of people today. And then finally, when they would surrender to a scorecard, we would start to see things changing, because then they'd say, hey, you know what? I thought I was having a lot of conversations, yet out of my 30 conversations, not one person did I get into a real estate conversation with, or not one person did I get into a listing appointment. With XND 63, was there one person that you feel is going to be beneficial to your team that you're actually moving forward and signing up? When you're tracking your numbers, now you're going to open up the most amazing thing. You're going to start opening up where you need to grow. It might be you're just having general conversations with people and never saying, hey, the intention of this call is for me to get you engaged with XND 63. You could be a customer, you could be a team member, or I'd love to have you join my team as a builder, and let's get going. I'd love to have you come into XND 63 and experience the ecosystem of health. What are we doing with our calls? What are we doing with our time? The scoreboard is going to start telling us how successful we are. More importantly, it's going to tell us how many conversations do we need to get into to get to where we want to go. So let's talk about scoreboards for a little bit. And this is important. And Steve's going to be, Daniel and I already met this morning. We're working on enhancing his scoreboard for his team. And every Friday, we're going to have a call, and people are going to go over, how many conversations did I have? How many people are going to be great warm leads, meaning we had great conversation? I'm going to need to follow up, and they're probably going to be retail customers to start off. How many conversations do we actually acquire talent? And those people are actually going to be onboarded and show up. And then we're going to sit down and figure out where the gaps are. And people will say things, Crystal, like, I'm still not comfortable talking about XND 63 and how to onboard. I still don't feel like I know enough about the products. I still don't think I'm talking to the right population. Now we could start fine-tuning those conversations to get people moving forward. Let's talk about it. Discipline number 3, and we're going to kind of wrap this all into discipline number 4. Discipline number 3 is the scoreboard in the 4 disciplines of execution. Just so you know, discipline number 4 is accountability. We're going to blend these 2 conversations together. The scoreboard is important. If Steve is building his team out, which he's building and onboarding people quite rapidly, that's wonderful. It's great. Invite everybody over. Everyone's part of the team. And guess what? Now you have a group of people sitting on a Zoom going, hey, what's next? What am I supposed to do? Crystal, you're bringing all your people along. And then they're like, man, I'm loving this. This is fantastic. Crystal is awesome. And I'm going to warn you, Crystal, and I've been in this world before. I've brought a lot of people to groups and into my teams. And if you don't have a clear, driven accountability scoreboard put together, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them because even they are going to start saying, what am I doing this for? You know, I'm getting inspired. I think this is wonderful. I love the products. I'm not seeing anything come into my account. I'm not making money. I'm not seeing a dent in my financial future. We need scoreboards. We need accountability to lead people forward. Guys, it starts at a young age, and it's a proven fact that the human mind and body wants structure. You built structure when you had kids or when you were a kid. When you would get angry when your mom and dad would say, oh, hey, it's time to go to bed, and you would throw a fit. And then you were thankful that you were able to go to bed and wake up feeling good, because if you fought it, you woke up cranky and pissed off the next day. You wanted structure, and you knew, hey, I got to do my chores and put my laundry away, so you're not running around saying, hey, where are my socks? Guys, structure is the fundamental of a healthy relationship in life. And if you don't have structure, you just have fluff, that's all you're going to get out of XND 63. And I am going to be here for the next couple of weeks to just to let you guys know, we are going to hammer down some structure. And what that means is, hey, you're independent contractors. That's fantastic. Congratulations. You're self-governed. You're totally accountable to yourself. If you want to just go out and do that and not have any accountability and just be a team member, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, do whatever you want, order pizzas, sit around and don't do anything, great. Have a fun time doing that. You want to build some income? You want to build a team like we talked about last week? It's not just your activities, it's who are you talking to that's going to come and help you do that. David, I'm going to find some people for you that are going to help build out your world. We need those people, and you need to connect me with people that you might know that are ready to go and are go-getters, and we'll lock them in, train them, and get them going. Steve is already building out his standard of his team, and believe me, there's some markers there. Here's the great thing about a scoreboard. It's got to be compelling. Crystal Catalina, do you know what's really compelling about a scoreboard at XND 63? A trip to Mexico can be on it. That's pretty freaking compelling. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm just kind of working here because I hope to get a watch in 10 years. Forget the watch. I want to be down having a cold beer in the sand, hanging out with my good friends David Henry and Big Mike and Steve Major and having fun. And you could easily get that. That's a scoreboard standard, folks. That's something you can measure and get people to. The scoreboard, couple of key things. Crystal, write this down. It has to be visible to everybody. You can't have a scoreboard that you just pop up at the end of the week or at the start of the week. Nobody will care. In fact, people will get pissed off because they're like, what now? Wait, what do you mean? I didn't have time to put my numbers in. Oh, I'm what? Oh, so-and-so did what? Why didn't I see that? Scoreboards have to be seen. And guess what happens when you see people that fight the scoreboard? You want them off your team. Or you want them just to go in the background. Go in the background and do your thing. People that don't like scoreboards, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so what I would say too is like, so we had 9 or 10 people on the call Friday morning. And guys that I didn't think were having conversations, I think they are having conversations, number one, but number two is I have a lot of testosterone, I guess, on my team. And I think that there's a competitiveness. And when they see that chart, they want to make sure that they're I think they're competing with each other in a way. They want to make sure that they're having the conversations, and I think it brings out that competitive nature a little bit. I think that's a good thing to get your people moving. So nobody wants to say, oh no, I didn't have any conversations this week. And when we posted it, and we went around the horn, and everybody was having conversations, which I thought was really good. And some of the guys are selling more product now. And we've got some people in the hopper, maybe to come in as distributors. So, and we're just kind of at the beginning of it. So I think it's going to be a very useful tool for us. Just to kind of I think it's an accountability tool. I just think it keeps people dialed in. So they know if they come on the call, they're going to get asked how many conversations they had this week. So that's all I have to say.
I love that. I appreciate that, Steve. And here's the great thing about scoreboards, guys, is that so many times people don't realize stuff that they put their own body through. We're in, a lot of people don't want accountability, and they bullshit on the scoreboard. And you know how you can tell that they're BSing you, Crystal? Is they're putting in, 20 calls this week. 19 calls next week. 21 calls next week. I would track the numbers. I'm like, man, you are always right about the same. Are you really making these calls? Or are you just kind of imagining these calls? And they're like, well, yeah, it's been good. I'm like, all right, tell me about a couple of your calls. Let's go through the success of them. Oh, you know what? I really haven't been making the calls, but everyone else is doing it. So I just found a good number to put in. You'll see people that really are tracking it. 1 week, they're going to have 3 and they're going to be pissed off. Yeah, I had 3, man. Oh my God, this happened and this happened and this happened. The next week, they're going to have 40. Then they're going to drop down to 15. And you see these subtle patterns of people, and then they start figuring it out, and they start really getting momentum and tracking it and figuring it out. And then you start seeing consistency, and they're like, I'm going to make sure I have 50 calls a week. That's my standard. It usually goes like a roller coaster because it's human nature. Here's the great thing about a scoreboard. Let's talk about life without a scoreboard. If any of you had a chance to watch that World Cup final yesterday, I watched it. That was one of the most insane. I didn't even care what team. I didn't care what team won. But could you imagine that game without a scoreboard? People, you just wouldn't know, especially towards the end. I mean, can you imagine a football game, crazy football games that were going on? Can you imagine playing it when I think we're kind of winning? No, are we not? Oh, we're down by a point? Well, wait a minute. Let me go back and do the math. Let's see, there was a field goal, there was a touchdown, then they scored a touchdown and a field goal, and then there was oh my God, what's going on? The scoreboard's important, guys. If you don't have a scoreboard, you're not engaged in the business. And you're sitting around talking to people like, oh, well, how many people did you talk to? How many customers did you get? Hey, how's the profit looking? Are you making some money now? Hey, that's great. Keep it up. Go, go, go. This is exciting. With the scoreboard, you could start keeping track of, hey, you know what? Next month, you're going to win the trip to Mexico. Hey, how many packs are you selling? Remember, packs on auto replenish is how you make money here. What are your people selling packs? Maybe we should get engaged in people under you selling packs and increase your scoreboard with their scoreboard. Would that make sense to you? It's got to be simple, guys. Amount of calls. You want them to nurture warm leads and realize every conversation counts. And then you want to find out how many people they're actually bringing on board. When you start studying the numbers, the honest people will tell you, and every realtor would go through this, every distributor probably goes through this. And I've gone one-on-one calls with you guys. And Crystal, I'm going to say from when I met you 6 months ago to you're straight on, you are freaking like a laser beam right now. You're a lot more focused. And I know you're more focused in your conversations on getting something out of them. Remember what we talked about in the book, The Basics. So many people look at the money coming in. How much money am I making? That's not the important thing to be looking at. How many people are you bringing in, and what type of people are you bringing in? That is the multiplier effect of this whole thing. And guys, we have got to get more people in. We want to have the visibility so everyone's looking at each other. And believe me, you're going to start having people say, hey, what is he doing that I'm not doing? And then they ask that person, David, why are you being so successful in this? Oh, well, I'm leading with this. Hey, I started going after this population of people. I changed my script. I'm doing the end around now. Hey, who do you know? I respect you. Who do you know in your Rolodex or your phone that I need to be talking to? And that started to increase conversions. We will start to get competitive with each other. Guys, a scoreboard, even if you just track on an Excel sheet how many calls that you're making and how you're doing, and you just start running it in your calendar, or you get a free app like monday.com and you start tracking those things, you're going to get better. More importantly, you're going to know if you're winning or you're losing. 100%. So this pulls you out of that. What am I going to do today? That's the worst thing that can happen on a Monday, is when people wake up and are like, well, here's another week. What am I going to do? Open up your scoreboard. Start pounding your scoreboard, getting after it. We're going to move over really quick. We got 10 minutes. I'm going to move over to the final discipline in the 4 disciplines of execution. This book should be read every single year. This book should be read by people that you bring onto your organization. This book should be one of your standards that you have, and let people know we're running this like a business. And it doesn't mean it's not fun. It just means we want you to be as successful as possible. Folks, if you don't get people to be accountable to themselves, if you don't get a scoreboard, you're really bringing people in to fail. You're not giving them the real foundation of how to go about building a business. And we have got to stop thinking about this business in the same way. We got to stop thinking about it in new ways. We got to go after those other populations. Accountability creates the following things: a cadence. When you're accountable to yourself, you're going to start acting different. You literally will say, oh my God, you know what? I haven't made my calls today, and I need to get these calls in because I don't want to wake up Friday and be like kicking myself in the butt. You're going to develop a cadence. Accountability pulls you out of the whirlwind of, I got 50,000 things to do. I woke up extra early today to knock out my little honey-do list that my wife wanted me to take care of from different things. And I was pounding things out. Now I'm boom. Let's go. Let's get to work. Let's get these things done. I got to be accountable to you, to my family, to the Kellens. It's time to be accountable. You're gonna create actions and results instead of just wishes. All right. The accountability is the most liberating thing. I had to report to the most senior people at Keller Williams. I hated accountability at first. It made me nauseous. My stomach would turn. I'd be like, oh my God, I didn't have that great of a week. Oh, Jesus, this is going to suck. 30-minute call, getting just my head kicked in, until I started to get it. And I started keeping score, and I started paying attention. Then I started thriving on it. Then I couldn't wait for that freaking call. Like Diana Kokoska, who's like the head of all the coaching, I'd get on a call with her. And she's like, all right, what's going on? Diana, sit back for a minute. I'm driving. I'm going to tell you everything that we're doing today. As far as recruiting, 35 interviews this week, 5 onboards, boom. We did this, and this marketing material, done. We got this done. Oh, and by the way, I got that all done by Wednesday, and I played golf on Thursday. How do you like that? That's great. Congratulations. How'd you play golf? Then that's what that call started to turn into. Accountability is not a painful thing. It is a liberating thing when you do it and when you get fired up. I'm going to read you, because I won't want you guys ever thinking that this isn't a well-rounded call. So Steve Major, this is for you. I'm going to read you a little poem today, and this is about accountability, scorecards, and attitude. This is called The Rooster and the Hen. All right, Steve, this is back in the Depression era. I stumbled across this and I said, what a great little poem. So sit back, get a cup of tea or cocoa, put your feet up by the fireplace, and this is The Rooster and the Hen. Once a little rooster said, believe me, things are really, really tough out there. Seems the worms are getting scarcer and I cannot find enough. What's become of all those fat ones? It's a mystery to me. There were thousands on that rainy spell. Now where can they be? But the old black hen who heard him didn't grumble or complain. She had lived through lots of dry spells. She had lived through floods and rain. She had picked a new and undug spot. The ground was hard and firm. I must go to the worms, she said. The worms won't come to me. The rooster just vainly spent his day through habit, by the way. where fat round worms had passed and squawked back in the rainy days, where nightfall found him hungry and he growled in his many ways. I am hungry as a fowl can be, conditions are sure tough, but the old black hen happened to up in her perch and dropped her eyes to sleep and murmured in a drowsy tone, young man, hear this and weep. I am full of worms and happy, for I have eaten like a pig. The worms were there as always, but boy, did I have to dig. Ladies and gentlemen, the people are out there. We are finding them. And guess what we have to do? We have to work. And guess what? It gets a little frustrating sometimes, but we have to work and get after it. People will fall off of our radar. There's so many times I'm like, I'm so fired up about this person. This is gonna be the most incredible person. And then I can't find them anymore and they just ghost me. That's all right. I just feel sorry for the people that aren't catching on to the wave. Ladies and gentlemen, if we put scoreboards in place and we hold ourselves and our teams accountable, meaning we give people a plan of actually how to make money in this business, we will not only have served a higher level for Xendurance and these incredible products, we will be doing the entire community and everyone in our world a favor when you hold them accountable and help make them successful. No one wants an unstructured life. It's a life by design, not by default, okay? We are gonna design a life for all of our team members, and people that don't wanna raise up to that, move on and get the hell out of the way while we go, even if we have to start from scratch, all right? David, give me some thoughts. How are you doing this Monday?
There we go. My mute button went away. I'm doing extremely well. I love this. I mean, scoreboards are absolutely important. I think scoreboards evolve over time. So for right now, a lot of my scoreboard is focused 100% on content. So how many reels posting a week, how many stories posting a week, how many videos posting a week. So that's the initial scoreboard. Then once that starts rolling, then the scoreboards are going to be how many retail customers and XND lights am I bringing in? Then from that point, how many of those am I converting to builders? So I think the scoreboard is a critical tool. I agree with everything you're saying. I do think it evolves over time. The metrics that you're tracking on the scoreboard, ultimately, it gets to how much business are you bringing in. That's where the scoreboard ultimately gets to. But yeah, I'm loving it. We had in my previous company, we had something called a DMO, so for daily method of operation. So yeah, there were just some list of building business activities that you basically tried to put check marks to as many. You would identify maybe the 10 business building activities that you needed to do on a daily basis, not things like moving your pencils around your desk. I mean, things that were driving business activities. And then, at the end of each day, you'd look and you'd rate yourself and you'd say, oh, I got 4 of those 10 done today. Not bad, but I need to get 5 tomorrow. So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said.
That's awesome. Fantastic. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. The great thing about scoreboards is when you really develop your scoreboard, you have somebody else managing it once it gets big enough, and you're on vacation and they're just giving you updates on the scoreboard. And you're like, okay, so now I'm on vacation and everyone's in their activities, they're in their habits, and I don't even need to worry about it anymore. It creates an incredible sense of freedom. Steve, give me one thought that you might have. You're on mute, I think. Jesus.
Hey, I'm old. I'm slow. Hey, I just like them because I think like David was just saying, the metrics can be different too. It's like you could have a scoreboard for who's getting closest to the trip. You could have a scoreboard for retail sales. You could have a scoreboard for packs, and make it kind of I like making things a little bit of a competition. So I like the scoreboards for that. And I think the guys in my group appreciate that. And frankly, I see them being more productive when they know that they're going to have to sound off on, what they've done for the week. So now there's got to be some rewards, I think, too. So I think that's the next part. Maybe the rewards just what they've accomplished, but or maybe it's acknowledgement. I'm not sure, but I think there ought to be some bonus reward that I'll put in there too. So
That's money. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Crystal, I'm just looking at the chat box here, and I'm just going to say one thing. It looks like you're on fire this week. I don't think that you're like checking out, or there's no grass growing under your feet this week, is there?
Not at all. I'm on a roll. I'm in the flow.
I love that. I love that. Guys, Crystal and I have been working on some new ideas with her, and we're getting her involved in a lot of different groups. This is what I love about Crystal. The group that we got her in, they do this Monday call, and then we have this other call that we jumped on, and they took 2 weeks off. And this morning she's texting me, hey, we don't have a call with them right now? I'm like, nope, they're going to take 2 weeks off. But the fact that she was coming at me, I just put a smile on my face. I love when we're like engaged, and I love that word flow. I feel like I've been in flow for a little while these last couple of weeks, like of really getting after it and starting to see things open up. Guys, there's so much fun stuff that's coming. Crystal, we're going to connect this week, and I just want to make sure that we're getting all those people moving over. We're going to have a little bit of a break next week, so we're not going to have our scheduled calls, but believe me, we're not going to be taking our hands off the handlebars. Daniel and I have got meetings with people that we're screening still. Anyone that needs help, please reach out to me. We're going to be doing that. We are, though, going to get ready for 2023. Here's the thing that I absolutely 100% know. I went out to dinner with my kids on Friday night, and I was tired. In fact, I think I talked to Steve. I had a busy week last week. I was feeling it. And we were out to dinner, and then I was talking to my daughter, and she was asking how everything's going and how I was feeling about it. And I literally said to her in a roundabout way, and I said to my son, guys, I've never wanted anything as bad as this. I've wanted to hit goals. I wanted to hit goals and make money and do certain things. I've never wanted a company to succeed more than I want this to work and grow, and it will work. And we're going to try every freaking thing humanly possible to make it happen. I believe in this. I know we're going to do this. When you talk to people, get people excited about the opportunity to just buy the product. Get people excited about what we offer for them to be a team member. Get people excited about what you're doing and what your vision is. Get people excited. Guys, I've been working on this skincare stuff. I've been getting really close to it. When you start seeing some of this come out, this skincare is important. This is going to be a whole other line of conversations to have. And you know what I love about us? People are going to be like, where's your big influential person? I was just on the stand-up, and I was working this weekend talking to Robin. And I'm like, you know what our big, huge celebrity, person is? It's everybody. Every single human being has skin. Every single human being that cares about themselves, and that's the world that we're in, can use our skincare products. You guys are going to see so many deals coming out of January, February, and March. We're going to have so much momentum, and we're going to be testing out so many different marketing ideas. I mean, it's there to download my brain right now would be really hard to do because we got so much good stuff going on. Folks, keep working, enjoy the time with your family, but just remember, these conversations people need. There are so many people that are nervous about the holidays. They didn't have enough money. They're worried. I was on a real estate call last week with a group of people, and it's scary for them. Real estate agents don't save their money. They don't even save money for taxes. They always think that there's abundance that's going to be going on. Now they're not finding those worms. They're freaking out. This is a great conversation to get into. 1, health and wellness is important. 2, you've got to be the best version of yourself when you're going through stress, or you will get tore up. And 3, the opportunity to build a business is, and this is a business that you could build from home or in your daily conversations, this is the time. This is the time. Thank you for your time. We went a little bit over. Reach out to me if you need. Yes, Crystal.
Do we know when the Monday night calls will be at what time?
The Monday night for the we're talking for XND, they are going to be in the mornings. They are going to be at the Daniel, did we select that time yet?
I don't think we have.
Okay, they're going to be in the morning, so we're going to mark those on our calendar. They'll probably be at like 7:30 a.m. Pacific is what we were talking about.
Okay,
we're
and they
gonna
have
be-
to be present for that in order to get the prizes.
Correct. And that should hopefully kind of lean into people get through their morning if they're back east, and then they could still join the call. They do have to be present, and people are going to say, oh, I have to be at work and all that. Tell them just to log into their phone and get on the Zoom and just be present. They don't have
Okay.
to participate. They could still win the product.
Okay.
And yeah, we're going to be giving out a lot of product. Guys, we're not going to say how much we're going to give out until we see how many people show up. So we just want to get that read. So we're going to kind of fake it till we make it on that. Daniel and I are building the schedule right now. Like we got an Excel file of every single day. Each Monday through Friday, there'll be a theme on the Facebook page of movement, recipes, TED Talks, inspirational people are going to pop in and give us little nuggets. And it's Monday through Friday on the Facebook group that we're going to have all the interaction. That's really going to be the landing page for people to, contribute and talk about what they're going through. We will
Is
be
that
reaching
group
out.
already available? Can I give them the link yet?
Daniel, let's start sharing that and opening it up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got a call with them on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll get it over to you. It's active.
Thank you. Sweet.
All right, guys, let's rock it. Let's have a big Monday. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. Bye.